Hello, guys, and if you want to know the truth about the state of the Russian Federation, just have a look at one day of their failures in this war. Russia is losing control not just over the Black Sea, but also over the Sea of Caspian. In Crimea, which is washed by the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov, last night Russians lost An-26, that is a big military cargo aircraft that was burned by the Ukrainian drones on Kacha military airbase. Together with two more radars, radio location stations that worked with Nebo-M and with S-300, S-400 systems, which is another serious loss for the already almost erased Russia's air defense, which means more plans for the liberation of this beautiful peninsula. But also in the Sea of Caspian, we started clearing the waters from the Russian army. And last night, with the support of the rebellious groups, and I kinda always like such news, we neutralized two Russian cargo vessels that were carrying the weapons for the Russian army. An important fact, they were also sanctioned by the United States because these very same vessels were used by the Kremlin to supply weapons to Iran. So the demilitarization of Russia is actually a win-win situation for all the freedom-loving world. One more oil refinery neutralized in Yaroslavl. President Zelenskyy visited the front lines, once again demonstrating this tremendous difference between him and the hiding Kremlin goblin that is constantly in one of his many bunkers. And Russia hit a Turkish vessel in the port of Odessa, which we all consider a serious escalation, and we'll see how Turkey will react to that. So let's discuss all of these important things on the way to the implementation of the only working peace plan, and you know that is to defeat and demilitarize Russia. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine. Subscribe to witness the collapse of Putin together and share these videos to spread the truth. So let's begin with this victory in Crimea. That is a beautiful peninsula. I wish it was washed by lots of oceans, but in reality, just two beautiful seas, Black and the Sea of Azov, that with each day become more and more safe for the international trade and maybe one beautiful day tourism. So Ukrainian drones, in the result of HUR operation, that is our intelligence, managed to neutralize Russia's cargo military plane An-26, and you know they keep losing this An-22 Soyuz MiGs like crazy these days, and also two radio location stations. One belonged to Nebo-M system, another one to S-400, S-300. They were literally eyes of this air defense, and perhaps Russia's air defense is the most dense in Crimea, which makes it easier for us to keep destroying and thus exposing more and more strategic sites in Russia, because they keep moving them to Crimea, we keep destroying them in Crimea, and the process continues until the last Russian air defense will be destroyed. Also, an important victory took place in the Sea of Caspian, that is far away from Ukraine. Actually, this operation took place near Kalmykia, another republic that may become independent after the collapse of the Kremlin regime. And there, with the support of the local rebellious groups, I love such reports, we targeted two big vessels with very weird name, one Compositor Rachmaninov and the second one Askar Sarridja. Uh, Both of these vessels were full of Russian weapons. They already were sanctioned by the United States because they delivered similar Russian weapons to Iran. We all know that right now Ukraine is fighting against China, against Russia, against Iran, against North Korea. So we are a very strong country, and sometimes against bad decisions from our all-time allies. So the fact that we have these rebel groups that are in direct contact with the special operation forces of Ukraine is actually a very good sign and opens up more opportunities for the defeat and demilitarization of Russia. Like and share if you share my opinion. And Russia perhaps decided to demonstrate that desperation, and they targeted a number of ballistic missiles to the region of Odessa, to Chernomorsk, to the city of Odessa, and there they set on fire a civilian vessel, not a shadow fleet vessel of the Russian Federation, not a military one, but a civilian vessel that belongs to the Republic of Turkey. And I know that Erdogan usually responds very seriously. By the way, they set this example when once a Russian bomber or anyway military aircraft crossed the border of Turkey, it was demolished in a couple of minutes. And no, Russia did not say it was an escalation, because deep down inside they know the rules, they know the laws, they simply enjoy the weakness of the others. So we will see what happens. Many describe it as an escalation, and that civilian vessel was full of generators that perhaps people wanted to supply to Ukraine, that is under constant attacks of Russia, specifically our civilian infrastructure. And in Russia, the oil infrastructure is under constant attacks, and this time we neutralized one more, one of the largest actually in Russia, Yaroslavl oil refinery. Tons of videos, and it seems to become a new kind of sport inside Russia to film these explosions and detonations, making it impossible to the Kremlin to hide the truth. Once again, Russians are lucky. We only target legitimate sites, and that's why they are happily commenting on what they record. And please see this huge difference between Putin and Zelenskyy. And even if I knew nothing about this war, just looking at the behavior of the leader of Ukraine and comparing it to the behavior of the dictator Kremlin Goblin, I would choose the sides easy. And Zelenskyy visited our troops on the front lines, recorded a video, and he was actually less than 10 kilometers of the Russian side. So just imagine his level of bravery, dedication, and the kind of morale boost that he gave to our troops. That's a good reason to subscribe and to share these videos, because somehow Russia still dominates your screens, your media. And as a Ukrainian, I feel very bad, offended, sometimes, little depressed about that. But when I return back to our community, when I see your comments, your shares, I feel that the world that cares for human life, dignity, freedom, democracy, we still have a good chance. So Putin is hiding, and Zelenskyy is demonstrating his bravery together with the Ukrainian soldiers. And once again, I'm proud to be Ukrainian. Check my new video about this very disappointed Russian military on Anna Danilchuk channel. Also subscribe to my X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Discord. The links in the description, same as the link to our merch shop, where we have a lot of good presents that can magically turn you into the ambassadors of Ukraine. And we need the world to remember about our fight and the need to defeat Russia. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, but most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!